Leo felt the familiar itch of impatience as he stared at his computer screen. His small apartment was a gallery of half-started projects, a guitar leaning in the corner with a thin layer of dust on its case, a canvas with a single hesitant brushstroke, a stack of books on coding he'd never opened. He was a reservoir of potential energy, but he couldn't find the catalyst to become kinetic. He dreamed of being a writer, a creator, a man whose name resonated with accomplishment. But the path seemed impossibly long, and the siren song of someday was a constant, paralyzing lullaby. Someday, I'll write that novel, he'd sigh, closing his laptop and opening a social media app. Someday, when I have more time. But time was the very thing that seemed to be slipping through his fingers like sand. He was busy, always busy, but with nothing that felt truly significant. He was running in place, and the horizon of his dreams never seemed to get any closer. Frustrated, he decided to visit his only confidant, the one person who never dismissed his dreams, but never indulged his excuses either, his elderly neighbor, Mr. Alastair Finch. Leo felt the familiar itch of impatience as he stared at his computer screen. His small apartment was a gallery of half-started projects, a guitar leaning in the corner with a thin layer of dust on its case, a canvas with a single hesitant brushstroke, a stack of books on coding he'd never opened. He was a reservoir of potential energy, but he couldn't find the catalyst to become kinetic. He dreamed of being a writer, a creator, a man whose name resonated with accomplishment. But the path seemed impossibly long, and the siren song of someday was a constant, paralyzing lullaby. Someday, I'll write that novel, he'd sigh, closing his laptop and opening a social media app. Someday, when I have more time. But time was the very thing that seemed to be slipping through his fingers like sand. He was busy, always busy, but with nothing that felt truly significant. He was running in place, and the horizon of his dreams never seemed to get any closer. Frustrated, he decided to visit his only confidant, the one person who never dismissed his dreams, but never indulged his excuses either, his elderly neighbor, Mr. Alastair Finch. "Take this," Mr. Finch said, placing the hourglass in Leo's hands. It was heavier than it looked. "I want you to have it. But there is a condition. You must turn it over and commit to a single, small task that moves you toward one of your dreams. Just one task for the duration of this sand." Leo frowned. "That's it? That's only about 15 minutes. "Precisely," the old man said. 15 minutes is nothing. It is less than an episode of a sitcom. It is the time it takes to brew a cup of tea. But it is also a foundation. Do this for me. Today, write for one turn of the glass, nothing more." Skeptical, but too polite to refuse, Leo took the hourglass home. That evening, after his mindless after-work scroll, he remembered the challenge. With a sigh, he placed the hourglass on his desk, turned it over, and watched the first golden grain fall. Then he opened his document and began to write. He didn't write a chapter. He didn't even write a page. He wrote a single paragraph about a character waking up. But for those 15 minutes, the world fell away. There was no pressure to write a masterpiece, only the simple, rhythmic flow of sand and words. When the top bulb was empty, he stopped. He felt a tiny, almost imperceptible spark of satisfaction. It was the smallest of victories, but it was a victory nonetheless. The next day, he did it again, and the day after. One turn of the glass became part of his routine. Some days, the words flowed easily. Other days, they were like pulling teeth. But he showed up. He honored the sand. A week turned into a month. The single paragraph grew into several pages. The spark of satisfaction became a steady, warm glow of progress. He started to see his time differently. He began to reclaim small pockets of it. The 20 minutes on the train, the 15 minutes waiting for his coffee, the half hour before dinner. He saw these not as lost time, but as opportunities for a few more grains of sand to fall in service of his dream. He visited Mr. Finch again, this time with a newfound energy. "It's working," Leo said, his eyes bright. "I'm not just dreaming anymore. I'm building." Mr. Finch nodded, his smile serene. "You have learned the secret," he said. "A cathedral is not built by staring at the architect's blueprint and feeling overwhelmed. It is built by a mason who lays one stone perfectly every day. Your 15 minutes, your one page, your single chord on the guitar, that is your stone. Do not despise the days of small beginnings, for they construct the grandeur of your future." Years later, Leo stood at a podium in a brightly lit bookshop. Before him sat a modest but engaged crowd. On the table beside him was a stack of books, his book, with his name printed boldly on the cover. The journey had not been easy, but it had been steady. He had never missed a day of laying his stone, even if some days that stone was just a single sentence. After the reading, a young woman approached him, her eyes filled with the same restless yearning his once held. "I have so many ideas," she said, wringing her hands, "but it just feels so huge. I don't know where to start, and I'm afraid I've wasted too much time already." Leo smiled, a calm, knowing smile that echoed another wise man from his past. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small, carefully wrapped object. It was the golden hourglass. "Time is your currency," he said to her, repeating the lesson that had changed his life. "And you can't spend it all at once." He placed the hourglass in her hands, feeling the familiar solid weight transfer from his keep to hers. "Let me make you a promise and a proposition. Start with just one turn of this glass. That's all. Just one." As she took it, a look of confused hope on her face, Leo knew he was no longer just a builder of his own dreams. He had become a keeper of the sand, a guardian of the most valuable truth he had ever learned: that a lifetime is not a single terrifying leap, but a quiet, consistent, and powerful walk, one grain of sand at a time.